Hello, business pros. I'm Marlene Foster with the Empower the Vision. And thank you for joining me today. I'll be talking to you about customer loyalty, a business action story. And the 3 points that I'll be making today, of course, will be one, customer loyalty. I want to challenge you to write a customer story. What would your customers say about you today? A story that they would write about you. So I'm saying it right now while you're listening to this video. Take out a pen and paper or just use your telephone and write maybe a 10-sentence description or a short story of what your customer would say the benefits have been since they've done business with you, purchased a product or purchased your service. And what do you think keeps them coming back? Is there trustworthiness in the relationship between the two of you? What type of innovative service are you looking at right now creating that would bring them excitement? That is some of the things I'd like for you to describe in that story. And that story will help you. It'll help you to look at what is it, what was the benefit in the beginning? And what is it going to take for me to continue doing business with this loyal customer? Number two, we're going to talk about feedback today. Feedback, effective feedback, ladies and gentlemen, is what we need to be able to communicate with our customers. Inside of this a customer forum that I have in place that I'm inviting you to take part in, we're going to be talking about ways that your product or service can be made even better. You're going to receive feedback and you're going to give feedback, and we're going to help each other to become stronger at receiving and giving feedback. And that's really important if you also want to be really effective with your customers. Start with some other businesses and you can test their water, and they can test yours. And also, you never know, you may end up getting a customer. In the meantime, somebody may really enjoy a product of yours that you've demonstrated, or someone may enjoy a service. So we're not looking for you to come to sell anything, but we're looking for you to come and grow. This is a growth time for all of us to be stronger marketers. So just coming for growth purposes. Thirdly, protection. A lot of us have been affected by the COVID-19 virus. There's some who are still struggling today. Some of us fail, and luckily we fell on our feet. But there are some still who are still struggling and haven't been able to get up on their feet. And I wanted to say to you, there are protection strategies that I'd like to share with you that will help you and guard you and safeguard your company from unexpected challenges, such as death, the COVID-19 virus, divorce, disability, illness, or unexpected termination. There are numerous types of challenges that you could face that I can help you to minimize, and I would love to show you these strategies. So I'd like to invite you to become part of it's a customer team building forum that I will be speaking with you at the end of today's video that will talk more and tell you more about it. And I know there'll be a few who will probably want to join me because this is strong, ladies and gentlemen, and it will definitely they'll give your business a tremendous impact. Know your strengths, because that will be the key. Actually, that's going to help you to be more and more successful, with your customers. It's not necessary to compare yourself to other businesses. Challenge and compare today with what you did yesterday. Learn from those businesses that have been around 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ahead of you, but you don't have to turn your business into what they've done. You're not them. And there's something special about your business, something that no one else is doing. And always remember that. So keep your soil supple and moist. Keep your grass growing greener than ever. Decorate your lawn with beautiful flowers. Become attractive. Attract viewers as they drive by. And those attractions I'm talking about are your customers. Take time with your customers. Follow up. Let them know that you want to know, continue to know their stories, because if you think you know their complete stories, I promise you, you don't. You got to stay in contact with them. You know one part of the story, you'll be surprised. The more you get to know your customers, you will turn around and learn so much more. I learned that a customer had 15 grandchildren. One day I went over to visit her to talk to her about, I think I was doing business with her for maybe the third time. And when I got there were 15 children. I thought there was a birthday party going on, 15 grandchildren, and I ended up conducting 15 different types of business with 15 of her children because I continued to learn her story. And I just want to tell you that it works. So be more vigilant about what you're doing and stay confident. Cute, aren't they? And when I look at children, they're very similar to a business. I have an 11-month-old granddaughter, and as I watch her growing and as I'm playing with her and helping her along, I just see the length she's grown and I see her interactions change. And that's exactly what happens, in our businesses as we continue to nurture and sustain our businesses and empower our businesses. And even when they fall, like my granddaughter does, we don't give up. You don't give up and say, well, she'll keep falling for the rest of her life and she'll never walk. I know she's falling now, but I know she'll walk one day. And in business, it's the same way we have to view our businesses. Our customer relationships start off. Trustworthiness has to be built. Rapport has to be built. So it's time. Time has to be taken, ladies and gentlemen, but in the end, it does evolve. So it starts to evolve steadily, and with this pace, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So get started so that you can continue to move on. Let your business continue to move on progressively. How often are you invited to attend a webinar or just have a discussion about leads? I don't know about you, but I've spent tons of money on leads and didn't really have really good results, with some of the leads. And and then me personally, I discovered that I received more profit and happier customers when I would go back to those whom I had already done business with and doing business with them and learning more about them. Because, see, I used to do securities. So I worked basically where I sold stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And the more I got to know my customers, getting to know them, which we all know, that's number one, knowing the customer. But the more I got to know them and they started to trust me, then they would go back and go into the safe and pull out whatever else that was maybe more confidential, and I would start to learn exactly what they were actually worth. And it was much more than I could ever anticipate. Leads, if you like to purchase leads, I'm not against leads. All I'm saying is that why put all of your money in leads when you do have existing customers that who can actually be advocates for you. So don't lose customers because all of your focus is being spent on leads. Continue to develop those relationships that you already have in place. And this, knowing your customer, we all have seen this, haven't we, throughout our business lives, and it is to know your customer. And again, I've actually walked into many appointments, and I thought I knew my customers, really knew them, and then I discovered that there's a story. There's absolutely a story that you have to take time, spend time getting to know, really getting to know your customer, because once they're just getting, first of all, getting to know you. They're establishing that rapport with you, and then once they get to know you, really get to know you. I've actually my grandmother died, and my mother sent me to a funeral home to take a card, saying thank you, gratitude. And once I arrived, you know how we feel about gatekeepers. I said, well, this is a gatekeeper, so I know the best I'll be able to do is just leave the card with her. And she said to me, no, he does not allow us to accept gratuitous types of cards that customers bring and stop by with. He wants to see you. So I walked in to see him. And so as we were talking, he said, Miss Foster, what do you do? I mean, what's your profession? You dress so professional. You're a very professional woman. What is it that you do for a living? So I told him that I was a securities broker. I work for a brokerage house. And he said, I get calls from New York, California. I get calls from he said nationwide. People trying to get me to make purchases. And so he said to me, what would you say would be a really good investment for someone who's looking to save money on taxes? And I said, well, that's an easy question. Tax-free bonds. So he said, but what type of bonds? I said, well, what type of interest do you have? Tax-free bonds can come in a variety of different spectrums. So I said, school system, building roads, and all. So anyway, we talked about the different types of bonds. He told me what his preference was. So this was on a Monday, and he asked me if he could meet me back on a Thursday. So I was ready for him on a Tuesday. I went back to the office and got everything together. So Tuesday, I was ready. He called me back on Wednesday, which he had already asked to see me on a Thursday. So Wednesday, I went back to see him. I went back to see him again. And as we sat and spoke and talked to one another, I got a feel for him. Basically, he was trying to, of course, save in terms of taxes. He wanted to avoid paying so much tax, on his money. But he continued. He and his assistant had all types of activities there. They invited me to luncheons, and I invited them to have lunch with me. We got to know each other. I learned his story. And his story was nothing like it was from the beginning. Nothing like that. I learned how many sons he had, how many grandchildren, what his thoughts were for the business, all of that. So I just want to say to you again today, know your customer's story. Why do you feel an existing customer is actually a brand's greatest asset? And of course, like we've been talking about, and that is because, think about it, an existing customer knows your expertise. And if they know your expertise, they know your story. And that's one thing that we've been talking about so far here today is about knowing our customers' stories, but they already know about us. They know about the quality uh, products that you sell. They know the quality service that's being offered. And we know when they start to understand us and they continuously do business with us, you know that trust has been established. This trust there. And I say to you, when you look at that this t-shirt, continue to get to know your customers. Continue on. Um, if you want to pursue the leads, that's gonna say that's fine. But continue to know your customers so that because those really are the ones who are going to make your business much more profitable. You know why? Because they're going to continue doing business with you. And that's because why? Because again, they know about your expertise and it makes them more loyal. So the existing customer is your gold mine. So I just want to say again, I'm repeating it again, please just remember just how the value that an existing customer has. Yes, loyal customers have the action story. Because when you look at the way customers are, and it doesn't matter if they walk into a restaurant and the owner may not even be present, but even employees or servers, they are also protagonists because they are the heroes in that customer story because they make life a whole lot more happier and gentler because they treat you special. You go into your favorite restaurant. Think of your favorite restaurant right now. Who is it that you look forward to seeing when you walk into your favorite restaurant? That female, that male who makes you feel so special. They may not be the owner, but they're your hero for that day because they bring out there's a specialness that they make you feel each time that you're there. So, again, the customer story is going to talk about your benefit, but think about the benefit that you receive as a customer. Miss Ross faced three challenges. One, because of her gender, and also because of race. So, with being African American and female in the 50s, that was a true challenge for her. Second was her business was in a high crime area. So a high crime area brought a lot of attention to her being working late nights because sometimes her husband worked late. So she was there late and there was a glass building so everybody could see her inside of the facility. So that was a little uncomfortable for her at that time. Third was the business that she owned, her cleaners. She depended on a reputable cleaners that actually clean the clothes. So she had an agreement with them that they would actually pay her a certain percentage for bringing business to her cleaners basically that needed their services. So they gave her a 6-month trial. She had to show profitability in 6 months. And do you know what Miss Ross did? I don't know if any of you have actually gone door to door and cold call and anything about cold calling. You know, especially during the summer months and below zero weather, it can really be trying. So she went out and went door to door and met with everybody in the neighborhood. But one good thing about what Mrs. Ross did, she gave cards out to everybody that gave them a discount when they brought their clean when their clothes in to be clean. She gave them a discount, and she also noticed as she went into the first person's house, the couch was a little unbalanced and it was rocky. And she got down and looked at it and she said, "Tell you what, write that on the back of your card, and when you come in to see me, I'll tell you a way that you can actually take care of that problem. I'll show you what you can do." So what Miss Ross did was she went and she met with people and she got to know their stories. She got to know their deep story. Not just that they needed to have clothes clean, but she got to know who had tax problems, who wanted to purchase Avon products because they had certain dry skin, and she people who needed their shoes shine for church services. She just got all sorts of and she had them to write it down on the back of the card that she was giving them a discount on. So the front of the card had their name on it, and the back of it had what written down, some kind of service or product she could upsell. I thought that is so smart of someone to do something like that. So she didn't just go and talk to them about the cleaning, she talked to them about upselling the products, and she did about 9 different services. She had 9 different services that she offered in addition to cleaning clothes. So what she would do also every Friday evening was to she would cook barbecue and she gave it away free. Now, there was a large warehouse down the street from her, and those gentlemen had started bringing her their uniforms to clean. They'd bring their wives' Sunday dresses, the kids' Sunday clothes, their suits, not only just the uniform, but the clothes that belong to family. So the loyalty was starting to really grow in her business because of what she was doing. So when she would stand out there, and then she had also had 3 grandchildren who would actually come in and help her when they were here during the summer months. They'd come and help her during the summer. She was training them, how to handle the business. They would go out and cook every Friday. And you know what those guys from the warehouse would do? Because she wouldn't accept money from them, they left tips. And the tips exceeded the cost of the sandwiches. Customer loyalty just came to Miss Ross. It just came just in every direction that it could, in unexpected ways, because of the way she treated the community. She would attend funerals, birthday parties, baby showers, whatever event they hosted. She was there. She was part of the community. And the one thing, though, that could have made the business so much more successful is if Miss Ross had had some type of protection strategy in place. Succession planning. She had no one ready to take over the business, and even if she were ready to retire, or if something happened, there was no one. So she became sick, and the business had to be shut down and liquidated. And this was so hurtful, not only for her retirement and also to the family, and especially to the community. See, it hurt the customers. So that's why it was important for me to mention this to you today about protecting your business. And Miss Ross was my grandmother. I witnessed everything I told you today. I was there and the I saw the painful, the sorrowness that occurred throughout that community. The customers were so hurt when her business shut down. They depended on her. She had actually gotten them to the point they trusted her so much that they depended on not just the cleaners, but just all of the other services she offered, and they loved her. So I just want to say to you today, to again, customer loyalty, we need it. So practice it in your business. Practice it in your business. And again, don't forget about the customer story. Write that story so that you can learn. you can learn, and if you want to share it, come and join me, and I'll be happy to read it along with you. Thank you. Business legacies are a very important part of our businesses, and that is because it'll actually affect the future. Think about customers who are now relying, on your products and services, and also employees who may be working with you, or it could be a family business. So I just want to say that we have to sometimes step aside and listen to what our colleagues are saying, key employees are saying, key personnel, because one day they may be the ones who will take the leadership role to run the business. So please think about business legacy. The Customer Team Builders Forum will include the following: retaining customers, spotlighting the business. I actually interview businesses now, and those businesses introduce their personal style of customer loyalty. They bring up programs and services that are used in their businesses. And I've been getting a lot of views on that. There are a lot of people who really want to know about customer loyalty, and they're looking at the different ways that businesses are approaching it. So I'd like to invite you, come and let's discuss how you what you're doing in your business that's different from others, and maybe you'd be interested in an interview. Also, again, we talked about feedback on your product or service, receiving that from business owners, and also giving it in return. And also, we'll discuss testimonials. The forum will also include one-on-one group consultations, live consultations, and also protection. This is something we're going to spend a lot of time on. It's talking about how to make those improvements that you need in the business in order to safeguard your family, customers, and your retirement from unexpected challenges. So that's something I'm really looking forward to uh, talking with you about. This is something I've been doing for 15 to 20 years. So I'm skilled in this, and I really would like to share the best way to provide protection. And also, there'll be networking opportunities, which I know most businesses are looking forward to. All right, just a recap right now. And a recap has been for customer loyalty. We will be discussing your stories, and I'm hopeful that you have actually started to maybe get into, writing your story, and feedback, which we've just spoken about, and mainly that's what we'll be doing a lot of. Will be feedback. Okay, and just and protection. We'll be looking at ways to protect your business, ways to protect employees, because as you know, customers they're twofold, internal and external. And what I'm going to do is there's information that's missing off this screen. I will make sure that I'll place it on there for you before you view it. Okay. But thank you so much again for coming to review the information on customer loyalty, which is will be very important for your business growth. And look forward to you joining us in the forum. Thank you very much.